Heart rate is dropping fast.
We're losing pulse. Vitals unstable.
Still no response.
People always ask me, how did you know it was him? Honestly, I didn't. Not at first. The first time I saw Park Ji-hoon, I decided to hate him. Navy coat, perfect posture, the kind of surgeon who makes everything look effortless, and who knows it. Cold, composed, and so infuriatingly good that just standing next to him made me feel like I had to work harder just to breathe. And then we found out we were competing for the same fellowship. One position. 2 candidates. I told myself, I am going to beat him so completely that he will never look through me again.
What happened to your hand, Ji-hoon? Was it the patient in room 302?
He became violent during the examination. It's nothing serious.
But medicine has a way of revealing people whether you want it to or not. I found his hidden CDs in the break room locker. Chopin, Debussy, Satie. Cold, intimidating Dr. Park listened to nocturnes when no one was looking. Then there was the old conference photograph. Both of us in the same frame 5 years ago, strangers who had almost met without knowing it, and a forgotten patient file that told us we had once saved the same life from opposite ends of the hospital, never aware the other existed.
I need this kit for my patient.
So do I. Hand it over, Dr. Han.
The hospital became a choreography of almost moments. We collided in supply closets. Our hands reached for the same patient chart at the same instant. He caught me before I fell on a wet floor. He removed a fallen eyelash from my cheek during a case discussion, and we both pretended it hadn't happened. I told myself these were accidents.
You shouldn't have taken my case,
I was
Doctor.
lying to myself.
It was assigned to me, Dr. Han.
A little deeper. Watch the angle of the forceps.
Like this.
Good. Now close the incision.
It is always late when the real conversations happen. The hospital at night is quieter, more honest. The masks people wear during the day start to slip. I told him about losing my father to a medical error when I was 12, how that loss became the engine of everything. He listened without filling the silence with empty words. Then he told me about his own mistake, early in his residency, a decision he cannot take back, a moment of failure he has been outrunning ever since. He said, I have been trying to make myself so good that luck never has to save anyone again. I understood that completely. We were the same wound in different coats.
The mistake I made early in my career, it still haunts me. I can't let it happen again today.
Does it ever get easier? This feeling of missing out on life.
We choose this path, Ji-woo. We just have to find our happiness within it.
No.
He also said he was lonely, quietly, like he was testing the word before using it, that the hospital was always full of people and he always went home empty. I didn't say me too. I didn't have to. He already knew. And somewhere in that silence, without either of us deciding anything, we stopped being rivals and became something I didn't have a word for yet.
You shouldn't skip meals.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I've adjusted the medication dosage here. It was a minor oversight.
Thank you, doctor. I appreciate you catching that.
Thank you for catching that on the chart, Dr. Park.
It's handled, Dr. Han. Just be more careful next time.
I demand to know what is going on with my son right now.
Sir, please lower your voice. This area is restricted. We will update you as soon as possible.
Wait, look at this passage here. The symptoms match perfectly.
So the complication during surgery was caused by this specific gene mutation.
You handled that well in there, Ji-woo. Are you okay?
I am now. It helps having you here.
I made it clear to the board that your research is essential. The budget shouldn't be an issue.
Thank you, Ji-hoon.
We fought too, badly sometimes, about treatment protocols in front of the entire team, about surgical decisions in the operating room. There was jealousy. There were moments where we hurt each other without meaning to. The worst was a misunderstanding about a patient who died when grief found its way into an argument that said things neither of us meant or meant too much. We didn't speak properly for 2 days. 2 days where I walked the same corridors and felt the absence of something I hadn't even admitted I needed.
Oh, I apologize. Let me close that window.
It's fine.
It's fine.
We should focus on the primary diagnosis.
I moved the fellowship interview to Thursday.
That conflicts with the surgery review.
I know, but I have to take this chance.
All right.
Dr. Han, your analysis of this rare condition is truly exceptional. The board is very impressed with your dedication.
Those are restricted files, Doctor.
I know, but the patient's history is relevant to your current case.
You crossed the line this time, Director Park. You deliberately undermined my patient care.
I made a medical decision.
Stop letting your emotions cloud your judgment.
This experimental treatment worries me. We need to be absolutely sure.
I understand your hesitation, but
We've reviewed the data.
Slowly, without announcing itself, we became fluent in each other. He knew my coffee order and left it on my desk one night without saying a word. I had known his for weeks and never acted on it, as if knowing was already too much of an admission. We finished each other's diagnoses mid-sentence. In emergencies, we moved together without speaking, like people who had been partners for years. A colleague caught us once and smiled in that knowing way that terrified me. I avoided her eyes for the rest of the
Look at
shift.
this section here. The reading is unstable.
you're right. We can't leave now. Let's reschedule the interview.
So, the interstitial findings on page 42.
I'm checking the correlating data now.
I know what this means for the fellowship, but I stand by my decision. It was the right thing to do. The research supports this dosage, Dr. Park. We have to try.
If this goes wrong, my career is over.
It won't. Thank you. Ji-hoon, about the patient in room 302.
Jiwoo, we handle it well. Don't worry. It appears to be disseminated intravascular coagulation, likely.
By severe sepsis.
Remember when Dr. Kim said the pancreas was optional?
He's impossible.
Slowly, without announcing itself, we became fluent in each other. He knew my coffee order and left it on my desk one night without saying a word. I had known his for weeks and never acted on it, as if knowing was already too much of an admission. We finished each other's diagnoses mid-sentence. In emergencies, we moved together without speaking, like people who had been partners for years. A colleague caught us once and smiled in that knowing way that terrified me. I avoided her eyes for the rest of the shift.
I'm giving up the fellowship. I realize that my future, the one I want, is right here with you. I choose you, Ji-hoon. If we combine the research departments, we could finally move forward with the trials.
It means more time here, together. I like that plan. It seems we are rivals again, Dr. Han. May the best surgeon win.
Look at this date. The critical case from 5 years ago.
I was the attending on that case. You were here.
When I confronted him about it in the middle of a corridor, badly because I had no idea how to handle what I was feeling, he just looked at me and said, You are a better doctor than you let yourself believe. Someone should say so. I stood there for a long time after he walked away. Something in my chest was doing something I couldn't diagnose.
Everyone needs an escape, even from duty.
Jiwoo, this volunteer work has to stop. You're exhausted as it is.
It's none of your concern, Sunbai. Those patients need me.
The link is undeniable, Jiwoo. Every single one.
What do we do now? We need to monitor the bypass closely.
Hold still. Are you all right? We have to go in now.
I'm fine, Dr. Park. I'm ready. Why did you do it, Jihoon?
The fellowship decision was getting closer. One night, alone in the on-call room at 2 a.m., I stopped pretending. I thought about the fellowship, the whole reason I came to Seoul Central, the goal I had been chasing since I was 12 years
I see
old
the
in a
alignment
hospital
now.
waiting room. And
saw my mother
then
die from
I thought about
preventable error.
Jihoon, the
I won't let that
CDs,
happen to my
the
patients.
photograph.
You don't
The
have
night
to
he
carry
told
this
me he
alone,
was
Jiwoo.
lonely. The way
keep
he
thinking
looks
about
when
the
no one
scan.
is
What if
watching,
I miss
like a
something?
man who has been
What if a
carrying
mistake
something
cost them their
heavy
life?
for a
You did
very
everything
long
you could,
time.
Jiwoo.
And
We're a
I
team.
realized
Everyone looks
I
up
didn't
to me,
want to
but
beat him
sometimes I feel like
anymore.
a fraud.
I wanted to
Like, I
know
don't deserve
him.
this.
I had already been
belong here,
learning him for
Jiwoo.
months without
More than
noticing.
anyone.
Witnessing the accident as a teenager, I felt helpless. I chose emergency medicine so I would never feel that way again.
That mistake from years ago, it still haunts me. But seeing you, it makes me want to be better.
I choose you over all of that. Sometimes, even surrounded by everyone here, I feel completely alone. Like I'm fighting this battle by myself.
You're not alone, Jiwoo. I'm here.
He always told me to keep fighting, even when it hurt.
And you are. I see it every day.
During that brutal residency year, I almost gave up medicine. I was ready to walk away from it all.
He found me on the rooftop before I found him. He said he was choosing me over the fellowship, simply like a diagnosis he had already made.
It was my decision.
You are the
I should bear
reason
the
I stopped
consequences for
running.
the delayed diagnosis.
I looked at him,
Jiwoo, look
this
at me.
man I had decided to hate,
If
and
we look
told
at the
him the
timeline
truth,
here, the
that
progression
I had
is
known his
atypical.
coffee order
Yes,
for
but
weeks,
this specific
that I
marker
had stayed
suggests a
late on
positive
nights I
response to the
didn't
new
need
protocol.
to,
Here,
that I was
eat this before
afraid,
the next
not of
surgery.
failing, but of wanting something
You
this
always take
much
care
and
of me.
having it be
Thank you.
real. The
Wait, this
fellowship
value
went to
seems
him.
off for the patient's
I was
profile.
genuinely
Oh, good
happy for
catch.
him,
I almost
which
missed
was
that.
the strangest
I'll update
and
the
most
chart immediately.
wonderful thing I had felt in years.
You assured me he
We
would
still
recover. This
argue
is
about
unacceptable.
protocols.
Sir,
Our
we need you
patient
to lower your
outcomes
voice.
together are better than anything either
You're
of us
addressing the
achieves
situation.
alone. There is a photograph on the desk in our small office, the one from the conference 5 years ago. He put it there one morning and never said a word about
The
it.
budget committee is
I
cutting the
noticed.
neurology grant
He
by
knew
20%.
I noticed.
But
That
the
was
data
the whole
clearly shows the
conversation.
efficacy of the trial. We can't let this stop now.
The
I
heartbeat
understand your
always knew.
reservations, but the data clearly supports this method.
And the patient's recovery is remarkable, doctor.